They had aspirations of top 4 and then held 4 from Crystal Palace. Questions on the manager? We went from United to divided. But this Sunday, United versus Arsenal, 4:30 p.m. kickoff. Can we make the Red Devils be dead devils? I'm joined by an esteemed panel. The man them are here. Robbie, James, Smiley. There was no poem, it was just nice.
It wasn't his worst.
See?
It
wasn't my worst. But listen, let me remind you, this video is brought to you by Paramatch UK, and here's some more information on them. Are you like me, confident that Arsenal will beat Man United? Our friends at Paramatch UK are now offering new customers the chance to get enhanced odds of 35-1 on Arsenal to beat United. To claim this offer, simply create a Paramatch UK account, opt into the promotion, and then place a bet at the normal price on Arsenal to beat Man United. These enhanced odds apply to a max £1 stake, and the enhanced odds are paid in free bets. Remember guys, you must be 18 or over and a UK resident, and full terms and conditions apply with all the links you need in the description below. Please gamble responsibly. A huge thank you to Paramatch UK for this offer and sponsoring this video. Come on lads, let's talk then. Let's start with, we'll do score predictions at the end, but how does this game, without giving away your score prediction, how do you think this game plays out? Because we know about United's form, we know how they've been this season. Do you see Arsenal dominating them? I hear a lot of fans want revenge of the 8-2. Is it one of those walkover games, or is it, let's not forget, this is Man United away?
Yeah, for starters, all of that revenge on 8-2 and stuff like that, forget all that, right?
Right.
This game has just got to be about winning the game. Simple as that. 3 points to at least take it into the last game of the season. I think when people are saying that, honestly, they're kind of disrespecting United, because I don't think United are going to be as bad as they were against Crystal Palace.
Them, though, they have been bad.
Listen, they've been terrible all season, but what they have done is when they played the bigger teams now, they've put in a better performance. So they got a draw against Liverpool twice at Anfield. There was one they drew in the league, wasn't it? And then they also knocked them out. Not twice. They got one draw against them in the league, and they knocked them out of the FA Cup, right? And that's Liverpool, right? We know that they have the ability that when they're playing the better teams to turn up. Listen, don't get me wrong, I think we're going to win. We're miles better than Manchester United.
Fact.
But I've been to Old Trafford before, and I saw the team sheet, and I'm like, who's this geezer Rashford, and who's this, that, and that, and they beat us that day. So we can't get complacent. Arsenal got to be totally cold and professional going into this game, and just be focused on 3 points. So a bit like what they did at Tottenham. I like the way we approached that game. We had a game plan, and we were just there for the 3 points. All that revenge for 8-2 and that, it means nothing. Even if we win 10-2, it means nothing apart from that, because we're chasing something higher at the moment, which is the league.
If we win 10-2 though, boy, that'd be
I'll take it still.
Yeah, good. Exactly. Turks, I want to come to you then, obviously, off what Robbie said. Is he talking sense? Is it just get it done, or do you think, there's going to be a bit more to this? Because it's not a derby, but it's a big rivalry when it comes to Arsenal, Man United. Should we be walking them over? Should it be a calm, easy win for Arsenal?
I'm with Robbie, man. 3 points is what it should be. But if we're talking, we're going to get into predictions later.
Of course.
The reality is Man United are in the worst place we've seen them in a while, and they've been in pretty bad places for a while.
Yeah.
And we are in the best place we've been in since moving into the Emirates. So this is just the early stages of this kind of Arsenal title challenging United in the mud. For years, it was the other way around. And in those years, United had their way with us a couple of times. Obviously, we mentioned the 8, that there was a 6 in there as well. And that 6 came during during that great period even, or towards the back end of it. Because we've just entered this era, we've literally just got over the Liverpool hump in terms of getting points out of them, just got over the Man City hump, just got over the White Hart Lane hump these last couple of years. Old Trafford is another hump that we haven't got over yet. And until you get over these humps, that's where you build confidence. That's where the confidence comes. Against City next year, we're going to be a lot more confident than we was this year. Against Liverpool, same thing, as we was more confident against Liverpool this year, last year. So Man United, we haven't got over that Old Trafford hump yet. I think in the Premier League era, since I've been alive anyway, we've only beaten them 3 or 4 times at OT. In 30 years, 3 or 4 times. One of those being one of the greatest moments, I've had as an Arsenal fan.
We won the league there. Yeah, that was actually yesterday.
We need one of those because this would be another great moment. Because fingers crossed, by the time that game comes, Fulham have done something. If they haven't, fingers crossed Tottenham do, or fingers crossed West Ham do. But if we go to OT, get 3 points, finish the season with another 3 points, and City do fuck up somewhere, then that OT performance becomes nearly as great as winning it there. Because look how big the 3 points would be. I know there's debate about whether if Fulham get points or City,
because we could win there and not win the league.
But that's what would make it even more special. But Rob's right. Job one is get the 3 points. If we win the league, then we'll address, the special games, and that will be one of them.
Interesting. James, you're normally a nervous wreck. most games, if I'm honest. So I don't expect you to be saying, in your breakdown that he was going to go over there and batter them.
He's been calm recently.
Yeah, well, this one, but James has said, listen, we do a lot of content with me, says someone's going to slip up with our last games. I think there's going to be slip-ups from us and City. There's only 2 games left. So I'm assuming it's not going to be the West Ham game. So we were really saying a slip-up for us would be surely United. Have you changed?
I just think, to reword it slightly, I think there's a lot of drama still to come.
Right.
I don't see the season ending. Let's put it this way. If we're to win the league, I don't think it's as simple as they draw one more game, we win our remaining ones, and we lift that thing. This is Arsenal Football Club. I remember when we went on that 9-year trophy drought. Yeah. And I'm thinking, here we go. We're 2-0 down after 5 minutes. We will not make it easy for ourselves. But something just tells me that I also don't think it's going to be as simple as both City and Arsenal win all their games, and they'll probably win it by the couple of points, and that'll be that. I just feel like there's more twists to come. But we're running out of time. We are entering into what I think are 4 crucial days in a row this Premier League season. And for me, that's Saturday with obviously Fulham, Man City. That's Sunday with our trip to Old Trafford. And then I've got eyes on Monday, Villa, Liverpool. People might go, well, Liverpool out the title race, Villa have secured top 4. Not quite, because if Tottenham do their job against Burnley at home, I think it is, there's real incentive for Liverpool, well, from a Tottenham perspective, for Liverpool to beat Villa. And then suddenly, with Palace having Villa at home on the final day, Tottenham might feel that there's a reason again to go and beat City. At the moment, it's not feeling like they've got that. So, then obviously we then play the night after. No, City-Tottenham's the night after that. So I just think these 4 days in a row are huge, and I feel like there's going to be lots of twists and turns.
One of it's going to be like around James, around those next 4 days, and very, very 4 games.
4 big days in a row. Yes, every single one has an impact on the title.
That game's going to be nervy full stop, right? There's 2 scenarios.
Go on.
Fulham get points off us, get a point or whatever for City. Yeah. Then we know that all of a sudden the momentum's back with us. It's back in our hands. And we go into that United game knowing that, right? Or the other scenario is Fulham lose to City, right? Which is probably the more likely one. Then we know that if we don't win that game, basically it's over.
What Arsenal's better?
So the pressure.
What Arsenal's better, Robbie? What Arsenal's better in what situation?
I think
us having that pressure that City drop points, maybe a draw, or Arsenal. City win and
I feel we'll be all right in both scenarios, because what we've shown since we had the Aston Villa game, where we slipped up and we knew after that the Liverpool loss and that. But since then, I have to say, the way we've handled the pressure, remember, do not underestimate the pressure of having to go to Tottenham when you know that every Tottenham player, every Tottenham fan were motivated at all costs to stop Arsenal from winning the league. And we went there, we were 3-0 up at half time. All right, I know we let them back in, Ray and that. But we were so comfortable in that game up until that era. So they've handled the pressure. We knew that when Chelsea were coming to the Emirates, their sole purpose, I know they've had some decent results since, and all of a sudden now they're saying to themselves, could we possibly get into European places? But at that time, they had no hope of any European places. Their sole mission was to stop Arsenal, and we won that 5-0. So I know that they can handle this pressure. I know that they can do it, right? But I'm just giving you the scenarios.
They can
I feel that, listen, there's 2 games to go, and I feel they can handle the pressure of it, right? And there's going to be a lot of pressure on that game at Old Trafford. Massive pressure. Yeah. Listen, I know they got battered at Palace, but, they're not going to want to make that happen again, get battered twice in a row. They still got a chance of getting into Europe. Yeah. Right, so they've got a bit to play for, and they've got a lot of pride to play for. They don't want Arsenal to come there and bop all over them at Old Trafford. You know what I mean? That's where managers lose their jobs. Ten Hag's under pressure. His job's on the line right now.
100%.
So they are going to put it in. But what I've seen of this Arsenal team all season especially away from home, is that they've been going to places, right, where the pressure's on, and they've been getting the results, and they've been playing well, and everybody's fit now. Everybody's back.
For Arsenal.
For Arsenal.
Yeah,
Even Timber's fit. You
everyone's
know what I mean?
available.
We've got no excuses. It's been, 8 days since our last game, leading into that, when we get to that game. I mean, it's all set for us to go there and do well. Just do what we've been doing all season. If the best Arsenal turns up and the best United turn up, we win that game. It's as simple as that.
There's no excuse. What you're saying here then is
there
no
are no
excuses.
There are no excuses. The only thing,
we're in good form.
The only thing is the record at Old Trafford has not been good. But we've dealt with some of those things this season. Our record at Anfield's not been good. We didn't lose there. All right, a draw. We drew. The big places we've been to away, we haven't lost at any of them. I know a draw wouldn't be good enough at Old Trafford, but I just feel we've got the tools to definitely win at Old Trafford.
Our performances haven't been bad though, that's what's interesting. I know we lost the last 2 there. How we lost that game 3-1 last season.
I don't know how we lost that.
The foul.
I've never seen, the score should have been flipped. It was a 3-1 win for us in terms of performance. Obviously, they did us on the counter-attack, and I think you saw that naivety in that game that showed itself towards the end of the season, really. And then you look at the season before that. Do you remember when Smith Rowe scored that goal when De Gea was on the floor, injured by Fred?
Yeah.
Even in that game, I thought first half we were way better than them. I think we went in at 1-1 or something like that. Got done by a penalty. Ronaldo did his thing. The year before that, we won there 1-0 because of a Aubameyang penalty. We deserved it that day.
On my birthday.
So I think the year before that we drew 1-1 when McTominay scored a bang and Aubameyang scored that offside goal that was then VAR gave it. So we've not I can't remember the last time I went to Old Trafford and got played off the park or were bad in terms of pure performance. But we just need to get over the psychological aspect of the fact anything can happen there. Now, we're on Forever Arsenal saying that, look what they did to Liverpool, the 2-2. And Liverpool fans were really confident going into that game. And we were saying, we never know what can happen at Old Trafford. But that even wasn't one of those games where United rose to the occasion. They were crap that day as well. They scored 2 wonder goals. It should have been 6-2. If we just keep our heads in front of goal, the chances will come. I've got no doubt they've got the players capable of raising it. But come on, the players they've got out injured, the way they've been playing, the uncertainty around Ten Hag behind the scenes, tactically they're all over the place. I never count out Man United and Old Trafford. But it would just be so disappointing. It's not like in previous years where I could go, all right, it's hard to win at Old Trafford and a draw normally is not a bad result. We just needed more. This isn't like that. This is, come on.
We must win, we should win.
Yeah, that's more the message.
They were losing against Sheffield United twice at Old Trafford, right? So their confidence there is not good. I mean, honestly, if we go there and play how we've been playing this season, come on. We're supposed to win that.
At Old Trafford as well.
1-1.
Burnley, yeah.
And I know it's not Old Trafford, but even Coventry gave them a real run. It was a robbery that Coventry didn't go through against them in the cup. I know it wasn't Old Trafford, but even that there.
We should have a lot of fun with the way they set up. They seem to press with their front players, and then everyone else, it's really deep. Casemiro, albeit is not a centre-back, getting pulled out of place. Johnny Evans isn't at it, of course. That's players like Ødegaard, Havertz, Saka, they should find really nice pockets. Rice as well.
They should.
Yeah, you've got the likes of Partey. You guys might think it's crazy. I wonder if this is a game for Zinchenko to get him to cut through United like that because the space is there. I don't know. We'll talk about it 11. But Arsenal should be well equipped. I don't count them out, but Man United, but we should be well equipped.
I don't think Zinchenko's not a bad idea because I don't think on the counter as well. That's what always used to kill us.
But they are good on the counter.
But who though?
Garnacho.
But that's
Garnacho.
Rashford. I don't know if Rashford's going to be available. We don't know if he's going to play.
Be back. Even Anthony's. Those are their strengths. Them basically those players. Counter-attacking football.
Yeah.
That's only Man United this season. When I've watched them, it's counter-attacking football and moments of brilliance from top players like Bruno Fernandes or when Mainu curled in that one. I mean, we know they're top players, but they're not a top side as we've seen this season. So, it's just about us defending properly, I actually think we defend properly and win that game.
I think we'll be all right. You kind of touched on the head-to-head record between Arsenal and Man United, James, so thank you for that. Obviously, we beat them at home this season 3-1. You mentioned the 2020 result that we got them at their place. It was in COVID times, the 1-0 win as under Arteta as well. I think that was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 100th game, which is because it was my birthday. I remember quite a bit about that match. But let's go into, I want to speak to you, Turkish, on this, because I've seen you speak to Matisse, right, and say, like, you wish you were us. I know you supports Chelsea, like, you wish you was in our era, everything's going in the right way. It feels like United, they've been in the banter area for quite a while, but it seems like they're still there. Do you see like how much they're a fallen giant? We were there at some point, but now it feels like it's completely shifted. United are still in their banter area and Arsenal are projecting. Do you see them changing it at all? With the manager change, that help it? Or do you think they're a long way off being back up there with us?
You can't predict it, man. Like, football's changed a lot. And I think when you look at managers out there, Bayern Munich are interested in Ten Hag. You know, so what managers are out there? Tuchel's been sacked from a couple of clubs. He's still of interest. Southgate's been linked, but that's more proof, you know, of the pudding. So it's hard to who thought Arteta would, you know. At this point, you'll have a few people that want a badge for saying they trusted in the process from the beginning. But who would have thought a manager comes in that's never been a manager before and elevates us to this level, to the level of competing with Pep Guardiola, one of the, if not the greatest, and Klopp, who's, you know, great in the league. So the way we've come out of where we was to where we are now is pretty unique for modern era.
Got to give him so much credit for it.
It's not something that can be replicated because it all, you know. Everyone can trust someone. Everyone can show trust in someone, but it's that someone, and there's not many someones out there in football anymore.
Also, remember, right? I was chatting to a United fan about this the other day. I go, yo, you guys are gonna have to rip it up and start again because that's what Arsenal had to do. How many players did we just basically give them away?
Yeah. Terminate contracts,
had to terminate Ozil's contract, just lose a load of money on it. We had to Kolasinac.
It took time, though. People think it's not quick. People think you can just clear everyone out and that's it. It takes time.
Aubameyang had to just rip up the contract, lose loads of money on it. You know what I mean? Literally had to just rip it completely up, right? Lots of pain involved, right? Are the United fans prepared for that? You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of pain, and then you've got to start rebuilding back. You know what I mean? And United at the moment are in a real mess. I just look at United now, it's just like a walking brand name. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's just a brand name at the moment.
Just living off it, yeah.
It's a brand name. And I feel that teams, when they're going to Old Trafford, right? Back in the day, teams went to Old Trafford, they're like, yo, bro, it's Old Trafford. Tough. You know, for instance, we'd be going up there and be like, yeah, hopefully we get a draw. Yeah. I feel teams now are going there, even your Burnleys and that, and going, you know what? They're better than us, but I reckon if we, you know, get stuck into them, do this and that, I reckon we could get something here.
It's the worst.
And that's how teams used to come to the Emirates as well.
Agreed.
They used to come to the Emirates. And I know that for a fact because I've spoken to a couple of players who said to me, they go, yeah, they were coming to Emirates, not really, obviously they know the magnitude of where they're playing.
But they live with Ice Arsenal, it's to the brand. But
but they thought they could win.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas now, I don't think teams are coming there now. They're like, yo, we better have some serious game plan to even get a draw. That's how it used to go to Old Trafford. Teams don't go to Old Trafford like that no more. They're in a real mess. It's for them to sort out, you know what I mean? But I'm telling you, if they're just looking at Arteta and thinking, oh, it was like, they hear this word, trust the process and that. It's a serious job that they've done at Arsenal. And they've really had to just rip up so many people's contracts.
Take time, take losses.
Take heavy losses, just get rid of... We had loads of players that were worth nothing. Couldn't even sell them.
That's so true.
Couldn't even sell them. Right now with Arsenal, that's one of the big turnarounds. You could look at Arsenal, you could say, right, this player, 30 million, that player, 40, he's 60 million, he's valued at... Before, our players weren't valued at nothing. Man, you'd have to give away those players. And that's what's happening at United now when they've got, for instance, like a player like Casemiro, where they gave him a 5-year contract on 350 grand a week. And then they've realised a year later that his legs are gone. Now what? So that's the big decisions they're going to have to make now. Do they rip those contracts up of certain players, you know? So they're in a, you know...
They're in a bat,
But we got to take advantage of that mess.
Yeah.
And we got to go there and we've got to, you know, we've we're challenging for the league, man, and we've got to take it into the last
You
stage.
use the word cold, Robbie, saying, in terms of being Arsenal need to be cold and professional. And I think you're right, because Man United, they have this look at someone like Bruno Fernandes. I think we'll probably be back fit for this game. I don't fully know yet. I don't know if you've got...
We'll read through it in a second. No, it's all good.
There's something about United where it feels like you can rattle them a little bit. It feels like you can... If Arsenal just don't play the occasion, which we've said a few times, like the Tottenham game, what I loved about the way we played that Spurs game a couple of weeks ago was the players didn't look like they were playing Spurs. I know that sounds silly, but it wasn't this derby day, pumping chest, let's go people. It was very it's another game on the road. And it almost maybe Tottenham were playing it more.
Yeah, they tried to make us right. Yeah, we wouldn't.
If we can do the same at Old Trafford, Bruno Fernandes gets a few decisions that don't go his way. Rashford's maybe head goes down a little bit. Højlund loses some of those early duels. Anthony, Garnacho, whoever it is, gets frustrated because they're not beating their man. And we just settle into our play. And maybe you get to half time, it's 0-0. It's quite cool, calm. Because what's so weird about that Tottenham game was we were better the second half than the first half. And we were 3-0 up. We lost the second half 2-0. And I just think if Arsenal can keep that mindset throughout, and they have been very professional. I think
Man City do year in, year out.
Yeah, I think the likes of Raya and Havertz have added that, from the one end of the pitch to the other. I think they've added almost I've got a job to do. That doesn't mean it doesn't come with their mistakes sometimes. But there is a profession about Arsenal that I hope we keep into this game. I hope it doesn't become a cauldron and some... Liverpool, I think Liverpool got a bit emotional there in terms of rushing all their chances.
Liverpool, I feel, this season, as that's been their downfall a bit. It's been all too emotional. I know Klopp leaving and stuff like that. Us last season, all too emotional.
Yeah.
Many games, too much. This season, we've been cold in a lot of games. Like that game, Tottenham was a great example. And I was hoping before the game we were going to, and we did. We went there, we had a game plan, bit different to our normal thing, and we just stuck to it.
Tactically.
And we're just we're better than these guys. And we just, from set pieces and that, we didn't get all emotionally wrapped up in the game, right?
Do you think we'll
It's
play
hardly
the
a
same
booking
game?
in the game.
Do
Sorry?
you think we'll play the same way?
I think we
United
will.
As we did against...
I think we will. I think with United we'll have a lot more of the ball because they're not going to attack, are they?
Yeah.
Because Jamie Carragher talked about this on Monday Night Football. We conceded possession to Bournemouth a few times. I know we had more of the ball for most of the game. But you watched the moments when they did get into our half, we went, cool, we're not going to rush it. We'll wait for the error and, Havertz works back to win possession. I just think it wouldn't surprise me if part of Arsenal are doing is also just let teams into the game, let United get a feel, and then we'll
Depends
start...
what Ten Hag does though, really, as the home team.
Yeah, but this season he's just not compromised at all. Last season he compromised more.
Let's say we go in with let them have the ball, but they might not want the ball. The success they've got out of us is quick transition counter.
They're just counter-attacking team. Do you know what it is, Turkish? Remember earlier on in the season, right? There was a lot of fans moaning about we're very systemised now. It's all just control. But actually, which at the time you was probably right in that we were a bit too much that. But we're actually seeing the fruits of that now. In that the team is they have so much control in games. But then they've added more to it now. Now they've added a bit more flair. Now the confidence has gone up in certain players like your Havertz and your Trossards and players like that.
I agree.
And they're playing with so much more confidence now, but they've still got that control. And that's very important when you go to these away games, man, like Old Trafford, because if you get, like you said, James, get all emotional in that game, get all caught up in the whole Old Trafford atmosphere and, revenging 8-2s and all that, that's when you can slip up. Right? We've been there before, players have been sent off, booked stupidly, raised. Remember that game, Liverpool, that time when, Xhaka, that got the crowd back up, No, just go there and be cold. We were on a mission, man. Right? Win that game by, just win it. And then we take it to the last day. And you never know, like you said, we were talking about it in the Invincible podcast, right? We were doing this thing where we literally the whole episode we were just clutching at straws.
Yeah.
Right,
Shamelessly.
We clutched at about 1 million straws from different scenarios, right? But I don't know. I still think that Tottenham game, right?
I don't think...
I'm with you.
I'm not.
That's the game,
That's not...
I was debating
that's the game.
It's Fulham.
I'm not saying they're going to slip
That's Tottenham
up.
for me. I'm with you. If they're going to,
I don't think it's Fulham, man. I see these men flying kites and all
Yeah.
that. I mean,
they do not care.
When they won't be Tottenham, man.
It won't be Tottenham.
I'm with you, Robbie. I think it's
It
Tottenham.
won't be Tottenham.
If it's going to be, I'd still think we're up against it,
Yeah,
like
they'll probably
City.
win all 3.
Yeah, I don't
But
think, yeah.
if
I'm honest.
they're a bit of a bogey team for City, they've been. I don't know, man. I just think that's
Robbie,
going to be the game.
I'm with you.
If there's going to be any slip up,
I
there's
don't
that
want
one.
to rehash the whole conversation on unfair Arsenal again, but go watch that. But I agree with you. Like my thing was Tottenham. However we look at it in terms of I don't know what the table, what's there to play for. Arsenal could win all that. Tottenham are just a better team than Fulham. They play better attacking football. They've got better players, and
They've got more to hurt you with.
and they do actually still have more to play for. I
Yeah.
still think if results go, that's why I keep saying this Villa-Liverpool game is big. If that goes a certain way,
Yeah, I know.
Yes, and not only that, right? Not only that, how many?
Spurs will have a genuine chance at top 4.
Not
in the
only that,
final
James.
day,
How many
you know?
games can Postecoglou keep losing? He's lost 4 in a row.
He should
They've
be.
got
They should be Burnley. Though.
they've
Yeah,
got-
I know.
Should listen. Burnley are fighting for their life. Burnley have to get something out of that game. They have to win that game, or they're relegated. So that ain't going to be straightforward, right? And then they got listen. Postecoglou can't. I said it on Invincible. Go watch that as well. You can't have your last, say, 7 games and you lost 6 of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
When the season finished, remember Unai Emery? That's what happened to him. Like he had a horrible end to the season, and it's like they said, "All right, we'll give you the new season," and then he had a horrible start, and it was like, "Yeah, that could happen to
But where's the
Postecoglou."
pressure coming from though? Because if they lose to City,
Postecoglou is under pressure. I feel now.
yeah, but if they lose to
because when
City
the-
and we don't
Can't
win the
believe
league,
he
no,
loves a
no,
bit
but
of
I'm
Champions
saying
football money.
when the summer comes, they're going to sit down and they're going to be looking at. They're going to be, yeah, overall, man, yeah, all right, he played all this, but overall. So I'm
but
saying
Arsenal didn't win the league, so
No,
they'll
no,
be
no.
like, I think the fans won't be.
No, but I'm just breaking it down. Listen, these managers.
I know that-
It's not about fans for them. It's about they're keeping them job, and if he can get them into Europe, like James says, or if he can get them into the Champions League, do you think Levy's going to be? He may publicly be upset, say that he's upset because but. They're going to be happy because they want to get into the Champions League and the new format next year with this huge money. So that could be where and they got more weapons to hurt you as a team. They got 2 back against us. You never know.
Go on, David Moyes.
I've got a dream, man.
Let's bring it back to the preview.
No, the boys can forget that.
Go on, boys.
That one.
Last day of
That
the
was
season.
No,
at the Etihad.
Former United manager,
way.
your former captain who played for you, your former captain you
No,
managed.
James, that one.
This is just...
Yeah.
Leave that.
Come on.
Did you have one of those straws? Did you have that straw? Was that
Yeah.
what straw was
No, no,
clutching
no.
onto?
The kettle will fall out.
He said with that straw, he said it was a tiny straw like that. It was like the Etihad as well. He said that straw was absolutely...
Idiot straw.
Forget
guys.
that one. Forget that
Idiot
one.
straw. All right,
Let's take it to the last day.
Let's bring it back to I think we will. Let's bring it back to the preview. I don't see City dropping points. I don't think Arsenal will either, but I think City will do it. Let's go. I'm going to run through just quickly the injuries because I think it's only right to give the audience, how many players they've got out. You mentioned at the top of the show that Arsenal have got everyone available. Tomiyasu wasn't pictured in training, but I haven't yet seen why that is. I don't know if he's going to be available yet, but they might just be. It might just be a day that we don't know yet. But let me run through just United's injuries list. Marcus Rashford is saying he'll be back potentially for this game.
You still want him?
Lisandro Martinez as well, he's injured as
I'll
a
take a
defender. McTominay as well injured. Lindelof, Fernandes, Bruno Fernandes missed his first game ever for United.
I reckon he might be back.
But he should be back. But he missed his first game ever in the last game because through injury. Rafa Varane, Shaw, Maguire, Malacia and Campbell. So that's basically the defensive back lines a mess with. You guys would have seen Casemiro at the back.
Crazy. Casemiro and Evans at centre-back. I mean...
Imagine Martinelli up again. I don't know if Martin's going to start, but imagine him running at Casemiro. These are the things.
We should rip them apart, man.
Exactly.
To me, it's just like Trossard running because Trossard's trickier, right? And I think Trossard's been brilliant. Going to be a key player in that game. I don't think Martinelli will start that game.
Really, no?
Trossard.
I know Trossard's been off. Yeah, do you know what?
Put some.
It is
I mean,
Trossard.
we'll save it for when we do the
predicted
11. But listen, put some respect on this guy's name, man. He's been one of our best players this season, right? And the goals he scores, the important goals he scores, his ability to finish. Him running at that back line will be, because he's just a tricky player as well. We underestimate how skillful he is.
No, he is, especially when he's not got confidence. You make a good point there, Trossard. I want to mention, the last 5 matches that Man United have played, they've won 2, lost 1 and drawn 2. We've won our last 4, and we lost 1, which was the Bayern game we got out of the Champions League. Right, it's prediction time. But I do closing stats to see if I can sway your score prediction. Mine is outrageous for my prediction. But let me give you the closing stats. Man United have conceded 81 goals in all competitions this season.
Crazy.
Last conceded more in single campaign back in 1970 and 1971 season.
What's your prediction?
Wait for it. Man United have lost 18 games in all competitions this season, last losing more in single campaign in 1977-1978 season. And then lastly, Arsenal have kept 10 clean sheets away from home in the Premier League this season, last keeping more on the road in a single flight back in 1990 and 91 season. I'm not going to start with my score prediction. I just got my chest out. I think we all said we must win. There's no excuses. I'm going with that confidence. I know it's Old Trafford, that's the only thing, but I've gone past that as a fan. Turkish, let's start with you. Score prediction.
Start with you.
Let's start with you. I'm interested in.
No, it's nothing crazy. It's nothing crazy. Listen, I've seen online.
You just built it up. Now you're saying
You just went, yes.
make your prediction.
I've been seeing online 10-0 Arteta to score in the last 98th minute. I've seen some crazy things online. I'm going to put the photo up for that as well. But I'm going to go, it's not even that mad. 3-0, comfortable, 3-0. Could be a 4, but I'm going to go 3-0 Arsenal.
He was definitely going to say 7-1. and then he saw the way.
Robbie,
Yeah, he just went,
oh, I know. Let me change up.
I'm going 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah, I fancy us to get some goals. They may get a goal on the counter, but we have been conceding a couple in some of our away games recently. But I'm going to go.
You're putting faith in our back line, Rob.
Well, it's only one. You know what I mean? We 3-1. I'll go.
All right, Turkish.
5-1.
Oh, yours is more than
5-1.
than mine.
Ooh.
No, last time we did this.
5. You know what?
The odds are in my favour this time.
What do you mean?
Turkish, if it's 5, man, it could be his job.
Yeah, that'd be good as well.
Mind you, when did he say that before? Yeah, you're right. He said that in another game and it didn't work.
The North London derby at home.
North London derby at home.
Oh, Turkish, you sure?
It's interesting because Arsenal can score a load of goals, get in front, and they can do that. They can go in front. The only thing is that I worry about is, sometimes we don't get complacent, but we get comfortable. West Ham, when we went in the lead and Jesus and that was starting to take extra touches, we ended up drawing that game. That was last season. This season, Spurs, I am aware it was a bad error from David Raya, but we were 3-0 up. It felt like we got too comfortable. This game, I feel like the Arsenal team have learned from maybe going ahead and then just not being comfortable. I think we just stick it 3-0. 5-1's a bit mad, but
It is. It would be.
5.
I'll take that.
I don't want to concede. Say 5-0. Go on, James. You say 5-0.
No, 2-1.
No, look at him.
2-1.
2-1. 2-1's not.
I'll take.
Yeah, I'll take it.
It'll be
1-0,
bad shout.
2-1, 5-4, 8-7.
2-1.
I'll take
How
it.
does it play out? What? Just quickly.
I think we'll go 2-0 up and feel like we're comfortable, and then they'll get a goal back.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm trying to
and then
avoid.
it'll
I
become
feel
nervy for no reason.
Yeah, I feel we'll go a couple out and then they'll get maybe one back. I think there's going to be a lot of fight from them. Don't think that it's going to be what we saw at Palace.
They're playing for their futures, a lot of these players.
These guys cannot roll up and play like. I mean, I know they've been bad all season. Like you said, that stat there about him conceding shots. It's crazy the amount of shots they concede. So I expect them to concede a lot of shots against us as well. But
That's goals. 81 goals.
yeah, but they've also been conceding mega amount of shots as well. But don't expect them to
They faced the most shots this season, yeah.
be that performance against Palace. I don't think they'll be as bad as that. They're gonna want to restore pride.
But Arsenal is good to. I know they're not going to give that performance, but Arsenal is so good. Surely you're going to see.
Yeah, but then they're gonna I feel they're gonna be like a low block from them, and they're gonna put in a low block. They're gonna defend for their lives, like what they did that time against Liverpool. And if we don't take our chances, we'll be in trouble. So I expect a much better performance from them in that game than what we saw at Palace.
And I also think Palace were an unknown quantity, like new manager playing kind of a new system at Palace, and new players have come
Playing
in.
with freedom as well.
Whereas I think that United have had, was Ten Hag's 5th game against us, even if you include the friendly. So I think you'll kind of know what's to come from Arsenal. If we just execute it well, like Robbie said, the best version of both teams turn up, we should win.
Fair. All right, well, that's it for the predictions. That is it for the preview. Let us know your predictions in the comments below. Make sure you check out all the content coming your way in build-up to this massive game this Sunday. It's Man United versus Arsenal. Thank you very much. I'll see you again very soon.